This is what happens when someone doesn't listen to the word no. This is what happens when someone is confident in their previous success. This is what happens when you have a vision. This is what happens. Megalopolis. Was it good? Generally no. Was it bad? On the whole, yes. But is Megalopolis being a bad film a bad thing? No, actually, it's not. Let me explain. Though, Megalopolis is actually a hard film to explain. It's a modern-day fable of an ancient historical event, the Second Catilinan Conspiracy, where a Roman politician tries to overthrow the Roman Republic. Similarly, Megalopolis follows two opposing powers, Caesar Catilina, played by Adam Driver, and Mayor Franklin Cicero, played by Giancarlo Esposito. Both of them trying to seize full control of the city of New Rome, which is New York but with more togas and tedious dialogue, but more on that later. Caesar is the genius artist architect trying to completely change New Rome into a utopian city based on his visionary ideals. And Cicero, the mayor of New Rome, is adamant that the city is better off as it is despite its crime, social divide and housing crisis, and that trying to change the city based on an individual's vision of utopia is, in his view, certain to make the city worse, not better. Let me just come out and say it. This film is not good. Like, technically not good. It's amazing that a filmmaker of the likes of Francis Ford Coppola, who crafted such masterpieces like the Godfather trilogy and Apocalypse Now, made such a monstrosity of cinema. It's grand, grandiose, wild in places, and actually well done in others, but it's also ugly, weird, hard to follow, painfully tedious in its dialogue, shallow in its philosophy, and downright boring at times. This film has been in development hell since Coppola first tried making this film in 1983. And yeah, it shows. The plot seems like it was strung together from a multitude of previous ideas over the course of 4 decades, without much concern whether these ideas will all fit together with any sort of cohesion. For example, significant parts of the plot and subplots, including various riots, are suddenly resolved or otherwise randomly forgotten. In actual fact, almost every part of this film is the manifestation of throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. And let me tell you, a lot of it doesn't stick. And I honestly don't know where to start, so let me start with the visuals. The thing I noticed immediately is that awful colour palette, that awful yellowish green hue that colours most of the scenes. I know it's supposed to seem futuristic, but it just looks sickly. The effort to get that futuristic look is equally unfortunate in the CGI. Granted, some of the sequences, particularly when Driver's Caesar is having his liquor drug psychedelic trip, are actually impressive in a way where it's actually enjoyable and interesting to look at. But the budget for good CGI must have been running pretty low, because the utopian city cooked up by Caesar looks like a reimagined Futura aero aesthetic. And the dialogue, the old-fashioned language that would fit better in the context of a play, the long recitations of ancient poets, playmakers and thinkers, Shakespeare, Marcus Aurelius, George Bernard Shaw. Now, I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to show how the history, philosophy, and lessons of the past are still potent and relevant to the modern day. And I can see a reality where this style of speech would have worked wonders on me. I am and have always been part of the Romeo plus Juliet cult, 1997 Baz Luhrmann magic, and that film does a pretty similar thing with the dialogue, using Shakespearean language in a modern LA setting. And let me be entirely clear, for me it would have worked if the dialogue wasn't so obvious and so eager to explain the film's philosophy to the audience, especially since the film's philosophical ideas are, when you think about it, pretty shallow and not really delved into at all, bar having some random quotes. In the end, the film is both painfully dumbed down to the audience and bafflingly confusing, which I guess is a feat in itself. On the other hand, I actually liked the acting. Most of the acting. Natalie Emmanuel was pretty lackluster, and I certainly did not believe in Caesar and Julia's chemistry. But watching Adam Driver dance like he's having a stroke while he's tripping bulls, and Shia LaBeouf being Shia LaBeouf, injected some needed excitement to its frankly dull and perplexing plot. But the thing I like most about this film, and why I think Megalopolis being bad actually makes good cinema, is that it's trying something new. Most popular films are made to make money. Coppola financed the film himself because he believed in what he was making. Now, I for one wish he didn't believe in what he was making, but I'm also glad he didn't listen to the people telling him not to make the film. This film has a lot to say about the uncertain future of Western culture and politics. It speaks about the growing shadow of populism, the collective lack of confidence in our governments, the rising skepticism of the philosophies that underpin the sanctuary of Western culture, and our combined need and fear of visionaries whose ideas are just as likely to destroy society as they are to renew it. And these are great and relevant themes. Caesar shouts at some point in the movie, "We are in need of a great debate about the future," and he's right. And Coppola knows the value of cinema in this debate. I admire the film's ambition despite its bafflingly uneven execution, but I admire Coppola's ambition more. More bad films should be made like this, because even though it's bad, you can engage with the film. It's a conversation. It makes you confused. It makes you angry. It makes you wonder why Shia LaBeouf is in a dress. But I'd rather wonder why LaBeouf is in a dress than be indifferent, because Shia LaBeouf being in a dress is what transcends a movie from the realm of mindless entertainment into the sparkling canopies of art. Did I really write that line?